My name is Nick Pappas, Acting Chair of the Natural Resources Commission. I'm calling this public meeting to order at 7 p.m. Tonight's NRC meeting will be a hybrid in-person and Zoom meeting. We have a microphone set up in the commission table and plans will be projected through the TV monitor. If you're presenting via Zoom, please turn on your audio and microphone when it is time for you to speak. Following the presentation by the petitioner and questions from the commission, members of the public will have the opportunity to ask questions and provide public comment. Please identify yourself with your name and address for the record. You can also raise your hand from your phone by dialing *9 and using *6 to unmute. All video screens will be turned off with the exception of any commissioners attending virtually and the current petitioner. Once the commission has acted on an application, the petitioner is free to leave the meeting. In the event of any technical difficulties, all matters on the agenda that have not been heard will be automatically continued to the date of the next meeting, September 17th. Please note that the next meeting is October 8th. Please note that the meeting is being recorded. At this time, I would ask the commissioners to introduce themselves. Bill?
Bill Cremeza.
Jim?
Jim Smith.
Thank you. Okay. Let's see. First off, commissioner comments?
None for me.
Nope. Nope.
I have something to deal with here. Yeah, I just have one, which is that just want to remind us all that we agreed that we want to be involved, have NRC involved in the review of the land, the sites that the town is looking at, and we just need to review who's participating, that we do have the right process set up to make sure that one of us from the commission or Delia or someone is looking at the meetings that are taking place. So we might set up a roll call sort of thing and just assign particular meetings to commissioners if people think that would work, but we could discuss that at the next meeting.
It's a good idea, Nick. It's a fine idea to do it that way.
Okay, that's all I have. Director's update.
The only thing that I have is, I think I mentioned at the last meeting that the state is not in a drought, and now we are. So I think we've known that things have been, pretty dry since June. And we are in a state of level 2 significant drought. And Southeast region is in level 1 mid-drought. So water conservation measures, as much as people can do, would be appreciated. Being in a drought, perennial streams is a different designation under the Wetlands Protection Act in terms of how those get evaluated. But really, this is just to indicate, just to note that we are in this again a state of drought.
Okay.
That's the only thing that I have, other than I mentioned at the last meeting that our new Assistant Natural Resources Director is starting next month.
What's her name again?
Rose Kaforsky, and she will be starting October 6th.
Good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, Nick, sorry, I don't know that you ever asked for public comment.
No, that comes at the end. No, that's right. Yes, let's see, so that's off the agenda, but yes, we have, what is it, 2 minutes? Up to 2 minutes.
Up to 2 minutes.
If anyone wants to make public comment on anything that is not on tonight's agenda.
And
We have a hand, Cosette, John?
Hi, yes, Cosette Dunn, 131 Ministerial Drive. I'm calling, I didn't see it on the agenda. I know that Friends of Warner's Pond was asked to draft an application for CPC funding for an all-persons boat launch. And I believe that they wrote it, Friends of Warner's Pond wrote it. And can we just have an update as to where that stands?
So
Well, I can say this, it wasn't actually the Friends who wrote it, it was actually Delia who wrote it.
Oh.
In cooperation,
No.
in collaboration with the Friends, so it was both of them putting that together. That's one thing I wanna say. Delia, go ahead.
right, so the Friends did write an application and I said that I would submit that as a joint application with the Natural Resources Division, since this is a proposal that would occur on town lands, and the town manager felt that that was premature to sign off on that application. She felt that the planning for Giroux had not really occurred, and so this needed to just wait, and it was just a little too early in the process. She also, the town manager, felt that this is something Commonwealth Ave boat launch improvements could be something that would be a capital funded program, but that it needed to have a little bit more coordination with what was happening at Giroux.
There's also still set aside, from, if it goes this way, about 250,000, all right, from the Community Preservation Fund. That's there potentially for use. That may not be enough, but it's there at least. It still has that.
Right, so there was, so originally in 2019, when we submitted that grant application for, as part of the dredging project, there was $220,000 that was set aside, or budgeted for boat launch improvements at Com Ave. And I did earlier this summer
Yeah, you,
submit a request
yes,
to have that money extended
yes,
with a 20% contingency
that's right,
for,
that's right.
you know, some design upgrades and construction cost increases.
Yep,
So it was a $264,000 ask to the CPC to extend. They did meet last night. I wasn't there.
I couldn't make it either, so I didn't hear the
So,
final results.
well, so they had a lot of questions about that, and so I will attend
She'll be.
an upcoming meeting
Okay,
of that. They had some questions that they wanted me to respond to.
okay.
And I've asked Chris Denaro from the Friends if she'll join me.
Oh, that's
just
great,
to,
great.
you know, provide some perspective from the Friends.
Okay, Chrisette?
Okay, thank you. Yes.
Sure.
so Just one quick follow-up. So somebody from Friends of Warner Pond would, I don't know who's been meeting with you, but will they go with you to the meeting for CPC? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, Chris Denaro and I have been in touch about that. So
Oh.
she's willing to come, and it would be great to have her representation there. Yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
thanks for your
Great.
response.
Okay, thank you. Okay, moving on, some continuances, Bill, could you handle it?
Sure, so I move that we continue without discussion, a request for determination of applicability for Keolis, for RDA file number 25-11, and for a note, and did I say the date, a continuation to October 8th, 2025 for Keolis, and a notice of intent, a continuation for the same date. That's DEP file numbers 137-1719.
In a second?
Second.
Vote, Jim,
Aye.
Aye.
and I'm an aye as well. And another set of
Yeah.
continuances?
And now I will also ask for, I move that we have a continuation to December 17th, 2025, without discussion, a notice of intent for 874 Barrett's Mill Road, DEP file number 137-1718, and 874 Barrett's Mill Road, DEP file number 137-1717.
Second.
Jim? Second. Vote, Jim,
Aye.
Bill,
Aye.
and I'm an aye as well. Thank you. Okay, new applications to be heard this evening. Request for determination of applicability, Town of Concord, Kais Road right of way, and 91 Lowell Road, RDA file 25-13. We have
Anyone?
So is it my turn?
Yes.
Yeah,
Elizabeth Hughes, Concord Town Planner. So thank you. In your application packet included a proposed layout plan for the installation of three decorative streetlights, the standard streetlight that is in Concord Center along a section of Kais Road, between the Kais Road
Sorry,
parking lot.
Elizabeth, I'm sorry to interrupt.
Yeah.
Do you want to share plans or would you like me to do so?
No, I can share plans
Okay.
if you want to make me.
You're a co-host.
Okay, great. Perfect. Give me a second. So let me know.
Yep,
Yep.
got him.
Perfect. So down here, bottom right, this is the existing Kais Road parking lot. This existing utility pole right here, not sure why it wasn't replaced when the whole Kais Road parking lot was done, but it wasn't. It is a very large, ugly wood utility pole with the very ugly standard street light on it. So the proposal is to replace this existing pole with one of the decorative lights. As you come down Kais Road towards the top of this plan would be that back service driveway to Walgreens and Concord Market. The first new light would be at the existing crosswalk. And this is the driveway to 100 Kais Road and the walkway that goes along the driveway to this development. And then halfway down, another light, and then all the way down, almost to the existing driveway, a third light. This project has taken me 8 years, and working with CPW Engineering and then CMLP Engineering to find a way to light this section of sidewalk, which once Concord Market got built, the utilization of this sidewalk as we expected was also going to go up, and trying to find the least number of lights to adequately just provide some level of lighting along this section. I do also have so hang on one second and let me bring up. So CMLP did go out and did stake the posts, and I was able to get pictures of their locations before somebody came along and ripped out the stakes. But this is the first light where the crosswalk is. Halfway down is the second light, and then as you get to the edge where the driveway is, the third light, and then this is the ugly light that would be replaced. So the work itself requires that conduit be laid in the existing sidewalk, and then following the completion of the project, Concord Public Works will have a contractor come in and replace that section of sidewalk in place with asphalt.
So is this an increase in the number of lights? It is. So there's one light now, and we're gonna put 3 or 4 lights down along that way. Okay,
So
Yes,
it's one
currently there.
replacement and 3 new.
3 there. Okay.
Yes. The next light after that is all the way on the other side of the driveway, near the second driveway, actually into the parking lot for Concord Market.
Mhm.
Elizabeth, how long will from the time they start digging the trench until they have the pavement done? Do you know? Any guess?
Well, the goal is to do it, definitely before, this winter. So it'd be, sometime, this fall. The actual project itself does not, from CMLP's standpoint, does not take, an extensive period of time. And then Concord Public Works already has a current contract with a contractor to do different paving jobs. So it's been incorporated into that.
Okay, so.
If
Great, okay.
it can't move forward this fall, then I would have to work with CMLP and Concord Public Works Engineering to figure out when it could go into the schedule for spring.
Okay, thank you. Any questions, Jim or Bill?
I just have I'm just curious about one thing. In reviewing all of this, and I appreciate it takes a lot of time, does this Concord safety officer get involved in like where streetlights are going or that sort of, considering we're trying to light a sidewalk? I'm just wondered if that was part of the process.
So I've had conversations with the community safety officer. It is a very dark section of sidewalk basically in Concord Center. So he's supportive of the project. He really wouldn't get involved in the actual placement. That was more in my conversations with the CMLP, looking at the type of fixture, the spread of the type of fixture. This particular fixture, it's a forward light fixture. So, and then looking at, how that light spread works. So you're not going from a really bright spot to another really dark spot to another bright spot. It's a lower light level that has a little bit more of an even spread. So not having it, too many lights and having it too bright, but not creating that really bright, really dark, really bright.
Right. So thank you. So just to say it, I mean, I think it's that the public safety officer has confirmed that or community safety officer has confirmed that in their view, that there is definitely a public safety goal here in terms of getting light in that area.
Verbally to me, yes, not
Yeah,
in
that's fine.
writing, but
Yeah, we're flexible.
Okay.
Actually, we just put it in writing in the minutes.
True.
Okay.
And the reason I asked the question.
Any public comment? No one? Okay. Do we have an order of conditions for this or?
RDA.
Yeah.
RD, oh,
So I'll move that we issue a negative determination, number 2 and 3, with the following conditions. Number 1, erosion controls consisting of a 9-inch straw wattle shall be installed prior to the commencement of the work. And 2, following construction, the applicant shall submit a letter to the commission confirming that the work had been completed in accordance with this DA. Any change shall be described.
Jim?
Okay.
Second? Okay, voting, Jim,
Aye.
Bill,
Aye.
and I'm an aye as well. Good luck with the project, Elizabeth.
thank you very much. Have a good night, everyone.
Okay, next up, we have, notice of intent, Concord Public Works, Engineering Division, Spencer Brook Road, right of way, DEP file 137-1721. We have someone here?
Yeah, good evening. Delia, we tried to email over a presentation. Not sure if you got that. If not, we have a flash drive we can share to present with our plans.
Right, I see this came in at 6:30, so I hadn't seen it for now.
Just if we don't want to put it up there, we don't have to. We can just run through the bullet
No, I can,
points.
just give me a second.
You want to just give an overview while we're waiting?
Yes. That'll be the presentation. So, Jason Gallant on behalf of Wright Pierce, working for Public Works, Engineering Division. Matt O'Brien's with us also. He'll be giving majority of the technical presentation. And Sammy's also here on behalf of Engineering Division. So we submitted the plans, along with the NOI application, and we just had a brief presentation we could run through to orient folks to the project. And, thank you, Delia, for putting that up. So we've been through the intros here. We'll just kind of go to the next one. Jen Reardon might also be on the line. She's our wetland scientist for the project. So we've been through introductions. The intent is to go through an overview, review the NOI submission as well as the next steps for the project. We'll take questions, and then our contact information is also included here. So with that, I'll turn it over to Matt to speak to the project specifics.
Thank you, Jason. Good evening, everyone. So Spencer Brook Culvert and Spencer Brook Road, the existing conditions right now are there's an existing stone culvert with a concrete slab bridging each side of it. It conveys water south along Spencer Brook. And the existing size of it is a 6.75 feet wide culvert by 4.5 feet high in dimensions. And it is currently hydraulically and structurally, it's deficient. So upstream of that, this project was the second part of an NOI done over a decade ago to pass a 25-year storm through Westford Road. So this is the next downstream culvert, approximately 300 feet south of that. And so the Westford Road culvert was sized to pass a 25-year storm. This is the next culvert south. And some of the other structural deficiencies on it, as you can see in the photo, the head wall in which the guardrail safety system is attached to has been struck once or twice by some vehicles. So that is now collapsing into the resource areas. And within the culvert itself, the culvert with the stone siding on the culvert, some of those stones are actually getting dislodged and falling into Spencer Brook. And there's actually one in the center of the culvert if you get the photo. So we have some structural deficiencies there. As far as the roadway features, the guardrail actually abuts the edge of pavement of the road. And so that's probably one of the reasons, in my opinion, of why cars keep hitting it. So it's right next to the travel lane. And so that guardrail system, as you can see in the photo, is failing. Next slide, please. So quick project overview with some background information. There was a major storm that hit the town of Concord in 2010. And it caused a large amount of water to come and actually wash out Westford Road and close it down for a period of time. NOI was submitted on that project, and the roadway, including a new culvert and the road and the guardrail safety system, was constructed in calendar year 2015. We've studied this area further, and we've identified the Spencer Brook Road culvert as a high priority location based on some of the structural deficiencies and hydraulic deficiencies I just spoke of. The town previously submitted a grant application to try to get this funded in 2023. Unfortunately, no grant monies were received from that application. As I just said earlier, with that guardrail safety system located right at the edge of the travelway on the roadway, there's been at least one vehicle that has hit that, caused the head wall on the south side of the roadway to actually fall into the resource area. Public Works has placed a temporary barrier adjacent to that failed system to protect the traveling public and safety. We also did a little study to contemplate whether a guardrail replacement was warranted. The costs on that were pretty high. So basically, the most efficient use of the town's money is to redo the culvert, the roadway embankment, and the guardrail system at the same time. And so that leads to Wright Pierce's role within the last couple of months. We executed a contract with Engineering Division in June of 2015, a couple months ago. We were able to mobilize ourselves to obtain topographic survey, geotechnical investigations of soils, and environmental investigations. So that preliminary information came to us in July. Here we are in September with a preliminary design and our WPA permitting. So as we move forward, our next steps will be to finalize that design, get bid documents together for the town, and then commence into construction when we're done with those phases. Next slide, please. So just quick notice of intent permit submission, what we included. We included our project narrative and photo logs, some detailed photos of some of these deficiencies. We included our WPA Form 3. We included the list of abutters from Karen and the abutter notification documentation that went out to the certain individuals in the community. We included a project location map in our FEMA flood maps. We also included a narrative with regards to the Massachusetts river and stream crossing standards, meeting those to the best of our ability. We included the wetlands field report, a couple sheets of project drawings. And then as far as our H&H analysis, we included the hydrology, which basins were delineated through an online program called StreamStats to get our basins and flows and runoff. And then we performed hydraulic analysis to show velocities and flows through that area. And like I said earlier, the culvert 300 feet upstream of this Westford Road was sized to pass a 25-year storm. So we matched that intent as the next culvert downstream. And with that, we'd love to answer any questions the commission has.
Curious about, the 25-year storm, goal. I can understand you're keeping it consistent, but with the way things are headed, does it make sense to make it larger than 25-year storm?
That's a great question. So within the NOI package, we did look at a 50-year storm and a 100-year storm. And we were able to pass the 50-year storm as well, which is about another inch of rain, usually over about a 25-year storm. And we did analyze the 100-year storm. So yes, we did look at a multitude of storms.
And
Yes,
the
sir.
answer on the 100-year storm was, it wouldn't pass it.
The answer on the 100-year storm was a majority of it passed through the culvert. And I believe there was approximately 11 cubic feet per second, a small amount that did go over the road.
And it wouldn't compromise the culvert if that happened.
No.
Correct. And when are you planning on doing this?
It depends on availability of contractors. It's an ASAP project, so we wanted to get through order conditions, understand time of year restrictions that might be in place, but from Public Works standpoint, it's an ASAP project.
Wasn't there some concern that we should have this during a time of low flow? Isn't that part of this?
That's standard.
That's standard,
We
okay.
had talked about that.
Yeah.
And talked about that being changed on the plans.
Which we
Noticed
did.
Yeah, okay.
that, I don't think it was changed on the plans.
Oh,
I believe I added a note on C4 on the plan and profile drawing.
Okay, and all the general notes talk about October through April construction.
Yes, whatever you had told me in your comments, that's what I did add to C4. I'm more than happy to check that.
Yeah, I had
Sure.
expected that there would not be any reference to work outside of the low flow season.
Okay,
okay.
Absolutely.
So if you can check that, and we'll leave this open, and you can submit revised plans to us tomorrow or by Friday.
okay.
Noting those changes, the order of conditions that that I've drafted for the commission do note low flow unless there's a prior written approval.
Yes, that
Um,
makes sense. Yeah, and we tried to capture that, like Matt said. But
Right.
If there's still reference that could be perceived to be in conflict, we'll certainly remove those conflicts.
Great,
And so we're ready to issue tonight with this condition and then, which covers the situation, and then you will revise the plan.
Yes.
Okay. So that will catch.
right.
Good.
Right, so you know, if there's some emergency that comes up and the work has to happen because the road is gonna fail or something like that, so it has to happen outside of the low flow condition, we can allow that, but it just isn't a typical thing that it would be,
Yeah.
You know,
yeah,
drafted.
They should be talking to you.
But if there's,
Yeah.
if the drought
Understood.
continues, you could issue a permission to do it, so we covered if
Yeah, it sounds like,
it's practical.
thank you.
Mhm.
Yeah, we'll revise the plans, and then I think the order as it's described, affords Delia the opportunity
Yeah.
to, we'll be in
Right.
contact, and then we can sort of play it by ear
Right.
as needed.
Right.
With your discretion.
Right.
Okay. Jim, any comments or
I'm
questions?
good, thank you.
Okay. Any public comments? Yes, Fred? Fred Seward?
Fred, you're on mute.
You're
Fred,
unmute,
you're
Fred.
Unmute, Fred.
Me too, video?
You can, if you want to be seen.
Sorry, Mark, we're taking comments from Fred.
Okay, we'll wait.
This is, you,
Fred's still on mute.
Fred, you're still on
Fred,
mute.
you're on, Fred Seward.
You put him on mute, didn't you?
No, I put Mark on mute.
Oh, okay. Earlier though, you put Fred on mute.
Might have.
Fred, we can't hear you.
Okay, let me see.
Ken,
Who are these people?
hello?
That's Mark. Who else?
How's that?
There we go. Thank
There,
you.
yeah, okay.
oh, somebody else was speaking. Where are the,
Fred Seward is speaking at this point, please.
Okay.
I was on.
I live just down the road from the bridge.
So
The
just your
road-
address, Fred, please.
The roads form a triangle, which is exactly 1 mile in length, crossing both culverts, the Spencer Brook Road culvert and the Westford Road culvert. I walk around the roads for exercise. A number of people do. You have to watch out for the cars. There's enough room on the side of the road to step off the road if the cars, if you don't like the look of a car, or if 2 cars are passing. There's no room to do that on the bridge. So you have to scamper across the bridge as fast as you can. You can't. Anyway, the guardrails on the Westford Road Bridge are placed they're placed, they're lined up with the sides of the bridge. So there's no room to get off the road, not only on the bridge, but also between the guardrails. The guardrails are close to the bridge.
Was on. Then I tried to change my name to just Ginger because it was Ginger Carranza. Try to change it.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Go ahead.
The length of the road that you're on, where you can't get off the road if you want to, is about 3 times the length of the bridge, the way the guardrails are placed on the Westford Road Bridge. And I was wondering if you could make a little room between the guardrails and the road on the Spencer Brook culvert, so that pedestrians can get across that bridge more safely.
You folks want to respond to that?
Yeah, we can respond to that. So the plan at this point, understanding that the existing structure, even before the temporary guardrail was put in place, provides a constriction, is to match the existing roadway width. So 22-foot town standard. And then we're planning to place the guardrail 2 feet off of the pavement to allow that shoulder distance like you're talking about, or shy distance, for a little more room for passing vehicles and or should pedestrians be there, a little shy distance, or cyclists as well, shy distance for them.
So it'd be 2 feet on each side,
Correct.
plus the
On
22
each side of the
feet.
road or on each side of the bridge?
Yeah, so transverse or, yeah, offset from the center line of the road. So
Okay,
There'll
okay.
be, so there'll be room parallel to the roadway for the crossing that you're talking about.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay. Great.
2 feet
Thank you.
sounds like the right amount of room to me.
Okay, thank you, Fred. Thanks for bringing that up. Anyone else?
So I'm sorry, just to clarify, because I just didn't understand so that's already set up in the plan, so that's gonna be in the, I just
That's
missed it.
already in the plans.
All right,
Yes,
thank you. Okay, that's what I first understood, and then I wasn't sure by the end. Okay.
Just want to piggyback out on what Fred said. I'm the,
If you could just provide your name and address for the record, please.
yeah, this
I
is
mean-
Loretta Carranza and Mark Neerman. My mother is also on the call, who lives next door, but we're the property owners of 40 and 66, probably the closest of butters. And my question in general is, there's a tremendous problem with speed on the road. And never mind crossing the bridge, just, you know,
Get your mail.
getting your mail. I have elderly parents, there's 4 dogs among us, not to mention the neighbor's dog in the back, and occasionally they get out from the landscapers. It's a very dangerous road. I have been in contact with Ron from the police department, and he claims he's going to set up surveillance. I haven't seen much at all police presence on the road. That would be my first issue. Are you going to address that, put in speed bumps, collaborate with other agencies while you're doing construction anyways on that bridge? And the second question is, how limited is going to be our access? Because my parents are right there where you'll be doing construction.
So I can, on behalf of the design, I can try to address part of the question, and Sammy jump in on behalf of CPW engineering at any time. We're not proposing speed tables or speed humps through this project area. We're also not widening the road. We're setting the width of the bridge so that it is not a safety hazard itself, even for vehicles that are traveling at or below posted speeds. We have been in touch through engineering with Officer Holsinger and understand that enforcement is an issue that the town is addressing. But we're not through this project creating any wider or different roadway geometry that would invite nuisance type of travel. We're trying to provide safe passage through the area with this project.
I think by doing that, I'm sorry, but you're going to encourage people to go even faster by this
I
project.
mean, they go fast enough on Westford Road, and I know there are signs there that people put up. There's also a solar powered thing that tells you how fast you're going. We have nothing. And several times, we've all almost gotten run over getting our mail when we have to cross the street. And that's not acceptable. So you want to put speed bumps, you want to do something, or you're
Yeah,
gonna, that'd be-
if I could jump in, the town is, this is nothing to do with Public Works or this particular hearing, but the town is setting up a process to address this sort of issue, not just in your neighborhood, but throughout the town, because there are several areas where there are significant concerns, and I think Public Works, I know, is very much involved in working that with public safety and with the planning department. So,
well, can we have an update on that?
well, I think the place to get the update from it, one place you could go is the Transportation Advisory Committee, where you would find me. So, So that's how I know about it. There's actually on the Transportation Advisory Committee website, there's a place to submit, concerns you have about, public safety issues on the roads. So that would be a good place to start to make sure that this gets in and considered along with other, areas that need public safety improvements.
People walk along the street with dogs and canes and whatever, and someone's gonna get hit. We see small animals hit all the time.
Great. Thank you. Any other comments?
Got a problem?
I have a question about, you said timing, I'm sorry, this is Leslie Fye at 149 Spencer Brook Road. I was wondering, you said on timing, maybe October through April, would that be this year or next year?
I can speak to that. Right now, so we were initially trying to get the project done calendar year 2025. The plans are going to get revised to make sure that we're working in the low flow period, which would typically be before October. So, depending upon how procurement goes and timing on availability of contractors and what we can do to meet the pending order of conditions, it could be that part of the project starts this fall, meaning contractor could get procured and fabrication of some of the components takes some time anyway. So we're admittedly sort of toward the end of the reasonable construction window for 2025. However, we acknowledge that there's a less than desirable public safety issue there with a structure that is continually deteriorating, so that we wanted to make sure on behalf of CPW engineering that we had plans in place should this turn into an active emergency, that we can mobilize quickly and address the situation. So I apologize if that's not a straightforward answer. What I tried to say before, we're trying to move ASAP, but we need to be mindful of the considerations of the pending order of conditions.
And one of my concerns, sort of going off what the last commenters were saying, was the way it is right now, depending on how far off until it is we get started on the construction, it's a very dangerous crossing right now. You can't, it's somewhat of a blind corner as you're coming up. And I see people slamming on their brakes and near accidents regularly. I don't know if the construction does start soon, maybe it's not an issue, but if there's any delay of time, I think it might warrant maybe a stop sign, at least on the direction going towards Westford Road, which is the lane that gets cut off. I'm waiting for an accident to happen the way it is right now.
Yeah, the public safety.
Yes, so we have, on behalf of engineering, reviewed signage at the site. There's been some additional signage hung recently at the site related to there being a narrow bridge there. We've had discussions about potential campaigns that the town might want to undertake for additional information to advise motorists to be respectful of each other and respectful of other users of the corridor. I think it's, from a personal perspective, it's all in all of our interests to mind speeds and mind all the users of the road, but it is at 17 feet right now. It is less than town standard, but also meets, with the signage that's there, meets the state standard to advise motorists of the condition.
Is that state standard for two cars to pass at 25 miles per hour at 17 feet?
So the town standard, what we're trying to put it back to is 22 feet. And as you're probably aware, if you see large vehicles out there, there's additional shy distance right now that with cones that really afford one vehicle to go through at a
Right, but it
time.
doesn't say one lane. It says narrow bridge. It doesn't
it
say
is-
one car at a time.
Agreed. We've looked at the width there and it is posted appropriately as a narrow bridge.
Okay. Would it be possible until construction starts? Because when you're coming down Spencer Brook towards Westford Road, the fence on the property that's on the corner actually looks like it's road. So I'm familiar with it, so I know to stop. But if you're not familiar, it looks like you're looking at the road and there's no car, but it's actually the back of the fence, which is sort of a gray, like the color of the road.
I'd like to acknowledge the significant concerns, but it's really outside of the jurisdiction of this committee and the
Well, it's
project.
about the bridge construction, because it's because of the construction that
It's because of the
waiting for the
deteriorated
construction that it's a
condition of the
hazard.
bridge. We have the
we'll
problem
wait for
because
an
of the,
accident.
we have the problem because of the deteriorated situation of the culvert and the bridge. And we have a project to do it. That this committee is dealing with getting the project done as quickly as possible. That's the scope of our responsibility. If you
Okay.
have concerns
So
about
stop
public
sign.
safety, if you have concerns about public safety, you can more effectively work with the police department or with the Transportation Advisory Committee if you think there are changes needed to the road and the way it is now.
Okay, Brett Fye, I live at 149 Spencer Brook as well. When I've sent multiple emails to DPW, do those emails get sent to either the police department or this road safety committee, or do I need to send them direct? Because I've sent multiple.
I suggest that you send them to whoever you think might help. I have no idea where those emails go.
Neither do I.
I mean,
Someone's going to get run over, and it's going to be on the front page of the bridge.
I suggest that you take these concerns to someone who can deal with them. This committee really cannot address those issues.
You've at least clarified for me, because I've not received a response from TPW saying that I'm contacting the wrong party.
Okay.
Are there any
Any oth-
from the DPW on this call?
There are Public Works employees in the meeting, yes.
All right. So hopefully it's noted.
Okay, any other concerns, questions? Okay. I think we're ready to issue. You could,
Sure, I'll move that we close the hearing and issue.
Pending receipt of revised
Yeah.
plans.
Yes, pending the receipt of the plans and issue an order of conditions for the EP file 137-1721 with findings A, B, and C and special conditions 21 through 53.
So those plans, we need those
Yeah.
plans by end of day
Okay.
tomorrow.
Jim? Jim, give me a second.
Jim, you're muted.
Sorry, I was sneezing and I had to get off the phone. Second,
Okay, votes, Jim,
I,
Bill,
Aye.
and I'm an aye as well. Good luck with the project.
Thank you for your time.
Thank the commission and apologize for the misunderstanding on that note. We'll get those plans revised and in before close of business tomorrow. Good night.
Okay.
you know, I just, not part of the vote, but it would be great, I think, if there was a way that, Delia, you might just be able to send a quick note to both the community safety officer and the public works people, and I know there are people in the meeting, but sort of an official one to Alan, just noting that we've had a lot of these concerns surrounding this bridge and that we just want to make sure that people are aware that that's out there and they should, people are trying to contact them.
Yep, we will do.
Might point them at this meeting's recording.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on. The next one is request for determination of applicability, Perry, 123 Farmers Cliff Road, RDA file 25-12.
Hi, I'm Ross. Ross Berry,
I am the other half.
and we are at 123 Farmers Cliff.
Okay, and,
I'm trying to find it. Too many screens open. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
thank you.
Give me a second, sorry. Just go ahead and, it's a very straightforward project.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Just go ahead and introduce it.
Well, we lost power to the garage and, there's a bare wire line buried there, and the electrician said, instead of trying to find out where the break is, it would be better to lay a 1-inch conduit to there's a junction box, out there.
mhm,
So instead of, digging up,
Through my gardens.
well,
sure.
so we're gonna, in theory, we're going to, dig that, with a
Sandwich?
Ditch witch.
ditch witch,
It's rich, okay.
a 3-inch trench to
18-inch by 3 inches wide.
Yeah, okay,
to bury a 1-inch conduit
yep,
and, hook it up to that junction box.
very straightforward.
yeah, it is.
Mhm.
And this is within the 100-foot.
It is within the 100-foot, but it's basically a day of a trench being open.
Yeah,
Um,
and a slip
and-
trench
and
at that. Very
yeah.
Yeah,
good.
an electric
Yeah.
box.
Yeah, it's just going to the
It's
electric
already
box.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure,
The box
Okay.
is there, it's just the
just the trash.
line needs to be undergrounded.
Okay,
Mhm.
Any questions?
not for me, no.
Jim, any questions?
No,
And no questions either.
Anything from any public?
Public comments, questions? No?
Okay. then
so
I'll
I would move that we close the hearing with respect to the Perry, 123 Farmers Cliff Road RDA file 25-12 and issue negative determination number 3. With following conditions: erosion controls consisting of a 9-inch straw wattle will be installed prior to commencement of the work. And secondly, following construction, the applicant shall submit a letter to the commission confirming the work has been completed in accordance with this DA. Any changes will be described.
I second that.
Okay, votes, Jim,
Aye.
Bill,
Aye.
and I'm an aye as
We're
well.
all set.
Yeah.
It'd be nice to have a garage door again.
Yeah.
Delia, where would we put the,
So you're going to want to put the straw wattle in this area,
okay,
okay?
yeah,
Okay,
got it.
thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Bye-bye now.
Okay,
Thanks.
okay, next one, request for determination of applicability, Jansen, 260 Annisnack Hill Road, RDA file 25-14.
Go ahead.
Hi.
Mhm.
Okay,
Okay, go ahead and introduce yourself to it.
Gerard Jansen, 260 and this Nickville Road. Currently I have a 2nd-story deck. And what I'd like to do is remove the deck and put a garage in its place. The garage will be slightly bigger, 10 feet further, going into the driveway, and then I'm going to replace the deck.
so just extending into paved area.
Yes,
Okay,
Mhm.
and it's just within that 100-foot zone. Yeah, I can walk you through it.
No,
so
it's
it
here.
just kisses the edge of.
Yeah, we can see it.
We can see it, yeah.
Yeah, so the existing deck is here,
Mhm.
so remove this piece here, then put the garage there, and then put the deck back on top of it.
So the deck goes on top of the garage.
Yeah, back, it goes back on top.
Okay. I see a picture, yeah, it shows a picture of it too, so I can see that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't have any questions. Yeah,
No, I.
Not me either.
Is there any mitigation involved? Because of that?
No, because it's on existing impervious.
Yeah, that's right, you're right, as I pointed out. Okay, So, yeah, any questions, Jim?
Nope.
None for me either. Jim, you wanna take this, or shall I take it?
I'm having trouble finding it, so if you can grab it,
Okay.
that would be great.
Okay,
Bill's
sure
got it.
thing, I
Bill's
got
got
it. So I say I move that we close the hearing, for 260 Nurse Neck Road, RDA file 22514, and issue a negative determination number 3 with the following conditions. Erosion controls consisting of state silt fence with a 12-inch straw wattle shall be installed at the down gradient limits of the work. And 2, following construction, the applicant shall submit a letter to the commission confirming that work has been completed in accordance with this DA, and any change shall be described.
Second,
Okay, vote, Jim,
aye.
Bill,
Aye.
and I'm an aye as well. Good luck with your project.
I'm sure.
Okay, back to the agenda. Okay, next one, enforcement order. Yeah,
We, as you know, we received notification from somebody that there was some excavation occurring along the bank of the Sudbury River. I did observe that there was some excavation and what appeared to be dumping, and issued a violation letter to Mr. Lefevre. He's on the call tonight. Thank you for coming. I asked him to come to the meeting tonight.
Good.
And I know that you were in Scotland. We spoke yesterday. He reached out. You had been in Scotland, and so he just got the enforcement or the violation letter. I think yesterday, when you got back.
Sunday, yep.
And you know, it's not heavy equipment out there. It is extensive, but it's hand digging is what it appears. And when we spoke about that, Mr. Lefevre said that appeared to be possibly consistent with some activity where he had asked somebody who was digging on his property looking for historic artifacts. And I think you said it was a couple of years ago to leave. And I think you're here on the call, Mr. Lefevre, if you want to sort of, I know you haven't been there since you've moved as of January 2nd. So it's a little bit of an unusual situation. There is, you know, damage to the resource areas. The homeowner doesn't live there anymore. It's a little bit of, it's not abandoned, but there's nobody there. You don't have a caretaker. We don't know who's doing this damage. You can speak to whether or not it's you doing this work, but there does need to be some restoration. And you know, the property is on the market, so it's something that it's a little bit complicated. And Kurt, if you want to, you know, offer some thoughts on this from your perspective, I think the commission would be happy to hear them.
Sure. So I don't know anything about this. I did go to the property today, and I see the area that you're referring to. I do know that that corner of the property is, I would often find beer bottles and various things. I think kids would go there in kayaks at night and drink and stuff. So I saw some broken bottles, but it does look like somebody was digging and churning the land a little bit over there from what I last saw. We, as you said, we moved out on January 2nd. We actually had the house sold, and it fell through the Friday before closing on Monday. So then we decided to pull it off the market because the market was cold and it was August, and we just put it back on the market. So obviously this hurts in a big way to have now another factor impeding kind of, you know, our sale. For one more condition, just, you know, if that matters. We don't know anything. We haven't been there. The house is staged. There's not a bed in the house. We don't have internet. There's no cameras. There's no recordings. Basically, it's just being sold. So that's all I know.
Yeah. And when we spoke yesterday, I did advise Mr. Lefevre to contact the Concord Police Department, so they're aware of it. And maybe they can, you know, step up patrols. There,
It looks like, from the picture, it looks extensive digging. I mean, what would they be?
so, yeah, I can share some of the photos so that, I think everybody, the commission has seen these, but let me just.
So the person I saw was over by the bridge, and this is a couple of years back. So he was over by the bridge and he was in the river in waders and he had a shovel. And I basically went over and asked him what he was doing. He said he was looking for artifacts. I said he had to leave, and he left. And that's the only thing I've ever seen. But as I said, I definitely over time have seen, you know, 6-packs or, you know, things like that out there that I've picked up because I think, again, kids would go out there at night and drink. But that's all I know.
Right. It's pretty, it is pretty extensive damage. That's frightening. So is that a live tree or was it?
That was not a live tree, but there's definitely been some, there's fill and digging around.
Okay, so just roughly, the extent of the situation is the.
It's a few 100 feet. But this
Really?
is,
Along the bank, a few 100 feet.
Yeah.
No, not linear. You're not talking linear feet, are you, Delia?
Square?
I mean,
Yes,
a few
I'm talking
hundred
linear
linear
feet.
feet is a football field.
So less than that.
So one thing, if it helps, having been on that property for 15 years now.
150.
Yeah,
Okay, thank you.
we definitely have that much, not that much this is really just the corner.
Yeah.
And while I definitely see digging like somebody was churning the soil, there's also erosion that happens there, right? With the river comes in and goes out every single year. That our yard floods every single year at the end of our yard. And a lot of that is just erosion on the bend, right? But I fully agree when I look at that. It looks like somebody was churning and digging and pulling stuff up. Like, for example, there's a bunch of really old bottles there right now. So I think someone was in there looking for something, digging through, and they didn't take any of the trash. They only took whatever it is that they found that they wanted, is my best guess. But again, I'm no expert, and I just went there today. But I've spent a lot of time out on that river, and it always looks like some erosion. A lot of that clipping is really just erosion, but somebody did churn the soil. That I would agree with.
Right. Right.
So so this has to be restored, right? I mean, to something approaching reasonable riverbank for that section.
Yeah, and
That's where we are.
right.
But I don't think anybody removed any soil. I would agree there's some churning of soil, but I don't think anything was removed.
When I mean restored, I don't mean bringing any new soil in. I just mean restored to the sort of set of what we would call the set of values that it had to the wetlands, to the river front, that there be stable, reasonably stable, given the hydrology there with the river flow, that there'd be some reasonable stability after a project is done, and there'd be appropriate vegetation, native vegetation, right? So something like that. I'm no expert to say what the extent of the work is, but just trying to give you some sense of where we need to wind up.
Right, and I don't know that, I think it's not BVW, it's bank. I don't think that was really vegetated other than the trees. But I think the trees are compromised. I think it would be helpful to understand, from an arborist, what the condition is and what are there, measures that could be taken to.
We're not going to give you a prescription for what to do, but roughly a thing one might do is have an arborist come in and evaluate the condition of the trees and get some advice on what can be done to bring the situation hopefully back to something like what it was. Okay, that may mean that some trees can be saved. It may mean that some are beyond saving, and maybe some new plantings have to be put in. I'm not qualified to say, but just trying to give you a flavor for what sort of work needs to be done.
So if the arborists, again, I don't know how much is erosion here, But it doesn't look all that different to me, other than the fact that, yes, somebody would dig in some dirt and move around some dirt along that area. And I agree, they walked along that riverbank doing it across. But I don't think that's what you're seeing in the trees. Just from my perspective, we've had erosion there for years. The river comes in, goes out. Those trees have all been, if you look across that whole thing, you'll find trees falling in all the time. And we also have beavers out there that take out trees once in a while. You can see the chewing on them. They do a pretty good job taking out those trees as well. So again, I'm no professional, but I'm sure that, you know, someone could opine on that.
Yeah, so I mean, Delia could advise you on what sort of person you might retain to help you figure out how to bring it back to a reasonable state, because it's not in a reasonable state now. Right?
Well, I think it's starting with an arborist.
Yeah.
You know, having them come out and evaluate what the condition is of the trees, and then I think you need,
A scientist?
you know, a wetland scientist to help you with what do you do to restore that riverbank?
With the
And if
understanding erosion.
if they
is happening.
conclude it's just erosion, then what do I have
I
to
think if-
correct for erosion?
No, I don't think that would make sense. I mean, if you can have somebody provide some documentation that says, you know, what the conditions are, you know, I mean, the Sudbury River is not a fast flowing stream. But I think there's definitely some erosion around there. I don't know how much of it is
It
exacerbated
is right
by.
on a bend, so it is gonna get some erosion, even though it doesn't.
Well, I
flow
think
very
it's,
fast.
no, it's on the accretion side and not
Oh.
the scour side. Yeah.
Okay.
But, you know, I mean, I think if you can just have an arborist and a wetlands, or, you know, you could have my favorite title for a job, a fluvial geomorphologist. Not that you need that. But if you have somebody who's experienced in river restoration or wetlands restoration, that would be helpful. And just submit a report to us in terms of what actions, you know, should be taken. I think that would be helpful.
Okay, so I mean, you realize that I've had this house on the market for a year now, and this probably
Yeah.
puts it on for a significant additional amount of time, which is quite
Well,
burdensome.
I think once you have once you get to the point where you have a plan, I think the property becomes, in my opinion, it becomes more saleable than if you don't have a plan, right?
That's true. I would think
Right,
so too.
because you can say, we've got this problem on the river, here's our plan for dealing with it. You know, you buy the property with the understanding that that work needs to be done, either I do it or you do it, you know, that's part of the negotiation on selling the property.
Okay.
But understanding, it, knowing the extent of it is the first step.
And then what is the process for getting this plan approved?
Submit it to us. So we meet every 3 weeks, and you know, if you can get it to us a week in advance, I think that's, you know, we'll work with you to, you know, this is an unusual situation
Yeah.
that you're in. You know, it's a difficult position, and I think.
So often, Delia, right, there's an environmental consultant that he would work with, and they would be the front person talking to you. Wouldn't that be the way this would go about?
I think whatever is gonna work with you, Kurt.
Yeah,
in
Kurt, I
terms
would
of
say get in
how-
touch with some environmental firm that you've seen. You've been on the calls, you've seen us have them in here. And have them get in touch with Delia and work out a plan.
And I'm happy to, you know, if you wanna give me a call tomorrow, I can, you know, we have a list of, you know, wetland scientists that I can give you some thoughts if that's helpful.
Or whatever. it
Great.
is.
That would be
Fluvial
helpful.
Geomorphologist.
Yeah.
Just don't ask me to spell that.
It's obvious she would look very kindly on.
No, I mean, that's just my favorite job title of anybody's job.
Okay.
No, I'm not suggesting that you find somebody to, but, yeah.
Okay.
If you wanna give me a call, we
Yep.
can,
I'll call you tomorrow and I'll
Great.
proceed.
great,
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Sorry
for your
this
time.
happened.
Yeah.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
Okay, emergency certification ratification.
Okay, so,
Another interesting one.
right, this is an interesting one, so,
Is the affected party on the,
no, I mean, this is just a ratification. So this was a, situation at 116 Estabrook Road where I was called out to the property, in June to look at a failing spillway where the spillway was collapsing into itself. And, the homeowner and her contractor were wondering, you know, how to proceed, and I said, file a notice of intent for the work. And, so they were working towards those plans, and they contacted me last week, and they had just heard back from Heritage. There's mapped rare species habitat there. And Heritage basically said, so the homeowner wants to remove the dam. And Heritage said, if you want to start that dewatering, the time frame is, I forget what the May start date is, but it's May through September 15th. And that was Monday. And so they were panicking a little bit because there's a beaver lodge that is on the embankment of the dam. And they have created a condition, which I saw in June, where it's got some seepage on the back end. And so it's spongy on the berm of that.
The dam
causes
itself, yeah,
Much
yeah.
of the dam.
yeah, got it.
And the beavers don't hear it, so they're not repairing
Don't
it.
worry about that.
They're not worried about that, and the engineers said this is basically, you know, they were worried about it in June.
Sure.
They said you can, you know, you've got time to
Yeah,
get this going, and, but they weren't aware at that time of the heritage restriction of September. So it was either a situation of, if they didn't start dewatering by September 15th, then they would be in a situation where they would have to wait until next May. And the
Oof.
engineers felt that the risk of failure was so problematic, and
Okay.
you can't say when
right,
a tree is going to fall, you can't say when a dam is going to fail. So I talked with Sarah, before I issued this, emergency cert. But
okay,
that is to allow them to
to breach it.
remove the dam.
Yeah.
And then they have to file an, after the fact notice
Okay,
with the commission, basically explaining, you know, the process that they went through for that dam removal and how they will restore this new condition,
Yeah.
which is now going to be, you know, the removal of that impounded system.
so what
It's
happens?
Buttrick's
That'll
Pond.
be a wetland,
It's a
right?
small,
There's water
Oh,
flowing in.
what's the,
stream and
is it a name pond? What's it?
So it's Buttrick's Pond. It is on the corner of Estabrook Road. Well, it's on the corner of Estabrook as it turns onto the like dead end part of Estabrook.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I think I know I know where that is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. What,
So they'll file, and that was part of the emergency certification.
Yeah.
So the emergency cert only allowed them to, you know, draw down 1 foot per day. It's a small pond, you know, it's, the watershed is quite small. They can only draw down 1 foot per day. All the work has to be done within a month because of that's the extent of the emergency certification. They have to stabilize, obviously, they're using cofferdams. They do have
Use
plans
pump
that are,
to water.
yeah,
I do know that pond.
yeah.
I do know that pond.
Do you?
Yes, because I believe for a long time, I'm not sure it's the same folks, they used to allow people to walk back there.
Correct.
Yeah,
So that
Beautiful.
that berm is a walking path.
yes.
Yeah, and that, it goes from Estabrook Road and you can get into
Yes,
Estabrook Woods,
yes,
right?
yes, yeah.
So I think the
Huh.
intention at the end of the day, is to allow, I think they'll construct a bridge over what is now gonna be a stream instead of,
Probably will end up being a beaver pond.
I mean, it might, I mean, there are beavers
All
there
over
now, and, yeah.
Okay,
Mhm.
yeah. Hmm.
Yeah.
That's interesting. That's.
Right, you're getting to be noisy, you know?
Would it be helpful if I pulled that up online?
Well-
Just the location of that?
No, I got it.
I'm okay. I know, I've walked right in front of it. I know exactly where that is. Jim, how about you? You okay?
I'm good.
We're all set then.
Okay. Yep. So you have to vote on the ratification.
I move that we issue an emergency ratification, certificate of ratification. Is that what?
So you just want to ratify the emergency cert?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Move to ratify.
I make a motion that we ratify the certification of the dam removal at 116 Estabrook Road.
Mhm.
Second.
Jim,
Aye.
Bill,
Aye.
and I'm an aye as well.
Good.
Okay, next, COCs. These all clean, full, complete? Oh, one part.
One partial, the first two are complete, the last one is a partial, the outstanding, so Zinders was a septic, Monument Farm Trust was repaving. And Walden LLC was, they reconstructed the building, was not a tear down, but that was outside of jurisdiction, the work within jurisdiction was paving. And they had some stormwater management improvements and some mitigation plantings. Those mitigation plantings and a few other things, as well as monitoring are outstanding. So that's why that's a partial.
Okay.
I'm gonna do this in two pieces. I'm gonna move that we issue certificates of compliance with respect to Cinders 84 Bruce Road, DEP file 137-1280. And Monument Farm Trust, Monument Farm Road, DEP file 137-1682.
I second that.
Vote, Jim,
Aye.
Bill,
Aye.
and I'm an aye as well.
And then I move that we issue a partial certificate of compliance with respect to 59 Walden Street, DEP file 137-1618, noting that some monitoring and restoration remain outstanding.
I second it.
Okay, vote, Jim,
Aye.
Bill,
Aye.
and I'm an aye as well. Other business, letter of support. Land Fund CPA application.
I think it's great. Do I speak to, you should speak to that though, right?
Okay, so, I did.
You brought it up at the
draft a-
last meeting.
Yes, I brought it up at the last meeting, so for a conservation land funds, that is just to put in some seed money.
Mhm.
It's for $500,000, it won't, buy the next parcel of land, but it will at least
I'll make-
put in a little bit of funding that I hope to supplement over years.
Sure. And it
Um,
could be a good down payment or something that we. can
Right,
to
right.
Cure the land, absolutely.
You know, and when the NRC was contemplating the passage of CPA in 2004, one of the things that they had noted at the time was that this leverages state money
Right,
to basically help with,
Mm.
those, you're increasing the money by using CPA funds. So it also puts the commission in a better position for being able to move more quickly if somebody is really interested in selling lands and can't wait until the next town meeting cycle.
I think it's excellent.
Okay, so I did draft a letter of,
Yeah, we saw the letter.
yeah.
Jim, you've seen the letter too, right?
Yep.
We're all.
No, I'm good. I'm good. I
good,
think,
yeah.
you gotta, this is, it's, well, first, I think it's consistent with the beginnings of the whole CPA function. And secondly, I think that you just have to recognize that a sort of a downside, if you will, of town meeting is that unlike, other forms of government where you would have a more powerful town committee of one sort or another, city commission or something, that you just can't move on these things quickly enough. And the ability to have some sort of dry powder is really essential to carrying out the policies of the town.
Mhm.
So, so would you move to accept the letter? Is that what we should do? Okay, so I move that we accept the letter as was written by Nick. And to affirm the application we've made to the CPC.
Second.
Okay, we vote, Bill?
Aye.
Jim?
Aye.
I'm an aye as well.
Good.
Okay, and then we have some admin approvals.
So 2 trees at 1315 Old Marlborough and 1 tree at 1024 Main Street. I did check all of those trees. The Concord Green one has ash damage, borer damage, and Old Marlborough, they are just in bad shape and they're close to the house. Gallagher is she reached out because she has a patch of knotweed removal or knotweed that she wants to remove. It is within the buffer zone. She's working with Parterre. I saw the proposal. And it's a stem injection of that.
It's in the 100-foot?
It's in the 100-foot. Yep.
Good.
So I'm
And
sorry.
what's the bump out?
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm looking at the thumbnail. The bump out is a approximately 10 square foot bump out. That is cantilevered. It's in the outer buffer zone. And very minimal disturbance. In fact, very little to no ground disturbance.
That's a pretty small area.
Yeah.
A bump out of a house you're talking about, some
Yes.
structure, yes, okay.
It's a bump out, so it's expanding the bathroom.
Yeah, no, I get it. I'm just, I wonder what
Sorry,
we
a
were
bump out,
bumping.
right, that's not very descriptive.
I like the word.
They use the term in traffic design too. Okay, well, we don't have to do anything on those.
No.
You've done it, thank you.
That's it.
Okay, meeting time to adjourn. There's nothing else, right?
Yep, yeah, and I gotta answer door, so I will do that.
All right.
Okay.
By now, thank
Well
you.
done.
Thank you.
Meeting adjourned.